Hello, everybody, anyone. Once again, I am going to say this. I doubt this will be seen because my internet has been hacked, and a lot of my live videos and other videos are being shadow banned and blocked on YouTube to prevent the truth of what has happened to me about getting out to the public. Ontario provincial police are involved with human trafficking, sex slave trafficking, torture crimes, brain injuring, body mutilations, skull splitting, full physical identity theft, and change to me done with 100% proof, lies, time buying, cover ups, arrest refusals, false arrest, kidnapping, sex assault, blood and piss forcing, medical file falsifications for treatment refusals, discrimination, and medical blacklisting, assuring crimes against their victims, organized trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, sex assaults, elderly tortures, elderly stalking, tortures, and murder, animal tortures and deaths, lies, cover ups, time buying, I Spoke, Ontario Provincial Police, human trafficking, homeless exploitation for monetary gain, and money laundering out of the Morning Star mission. As a result, in August 6th, 2019, approximately 3 p.m., one ex-O.p.p chief or commander, I was at a previous address in Napanee, Ontario. I was sitting outside. Freaking flies. I was sitting outside and ex-chief or commander went by. He was driving a white Jeep Wrangler. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. They pointed something, they shot it, and it went into my right ear. Spencer Mills showing up at my door with threats and intimidation, basically to let me know that if I did not stop talking about what was taking place, there'd be serious consequences. He was 100% right. Being stalked 24/7, I was made homeless. I would go to hospitals. They were getting phone calls stating about me being suicidal, self-harmer. Not true in any way, shape, or form. Never have been, never will be. I am 100% about life, and I'm here to live life, not die. So that is a fucking lie. Lies about drugs that I do not do. At one point in time, I did. In my younger years, I did, yes, but not since 2013. And that was all done to prevent me help, to prevent me proof, and to prevent me from being taken serious about what had happened to me August 6, 2019 by ex-O.p.p chief. Whatever was shot into me, it started moving through my head. I was getting shocking. I was getting burning. It was starting to move from my ear up to the side of my head. Eventually, it ended up in the top of my head, my frontal lobe. November of that year, I went to get a CAT scan done to find out what was going on, and my mother was alive at the time. Her and somebody else was with me. One of the people involved was at the hospital, a mental health worker named Stacy. She was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS. I had no association with her. I had no association with mental health in any way, shape, or form. She had no right. She had no business to be there. She found out that I was there with my mother and somebody at the time, and she walked right by us. Come to find out later, she was talking to the doctor that done my CAT scans, stating a bunch of lies about me, including her being there for my support, for my benefit, because of me getting CAT scans done and anxiety and all of this other bullshit. Not true in any way, shape, or form. I have no anxiety. I have no problems getting CAT scans done. That little tube does not bother me. I'm not claustrophobic in any way, shape, or form or bothered by them. So, but anyway, I get my CAT scan done. I wanted to see picture results. I was told I would not understand them. I needed medication, and I was not going to get my picture results, my CAT scans. So not satisfied with what had happened because I was still having problems, and just right there, my rights were violated medically. That's when I was going to other hospitals in Kingston, and that's twice when they got the phone calls about the drugs and the suicidal self-harm and all that, and none of it's true. And that was done to prevent me help improve in Kingston, Ontario at KGH. I even went to Belleville General Hospital, and there was a French doctor working. I went in, and he came in. First words out of his mouth is, I'm seeing your file. I'm looking at your file. I think you need medication, psychiatric bullshit. There is nothing I'm going to do for you. You need to leave. In the meantime, I had to keep going back and forth to Napanee Hospital. So, yes, I was kicked out of the hospital too and not seen him in Belleville as well. Not satisfied with what happened, and I was still having a lot of problems, so I had to keep going back and forth to Lennox and Addington County General Hospital. My head was swelling up. I was getting electric shocking. My skull was seriously split into different sections, and I have video and I have shown it and proven it to show that it had happened. My skull was split into sections. I was getting serious skull deforming. My head was blowing up like a balloon. It started to go flat. It was getting rounded out and it was being elongated. I had long hair at the time, so I had to shave it just to show and prove that it was happening. And I was going up to the hospital, and because of a falsified file that was done against me, compliments of the girlfriend, the one that done my CAT scans, to get me medically blacklisted for discrimination, treatment refusals, and blacklisting, assuring all crimes against me. Dr. Tatiana Vukadinovic, she also goes by Dr. Margie V. Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, Belleville General Hospital, and Kingston General Hospital. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Dr. McGregor, ex-CEO Coverups, and patient relations. Coverups, ex-CEO, I had to go up to the hospital because I was having a lot of breathing problems, so I went up to the hospital. I registered and I went in and sat down, didn't say a word or nothing. There was no problems. The next thing you know, a security guard comes over, says, Mr. Woods, you're not going to be fucking seen. Get out of the hospital now. You have to leave. Come to find out later, it was Wayne Coverups, ex-CEO, that had me kicked out. I was going to the hospital and I was getting treated like a piece of shit. I was being name called. I was being called retarded. I was told identity thefts that could not happen. I was being treated like a nutcase no matter what I was showing, and 100% proving to prove that, oh yes, identity thefts physically can happen, and it has happened 100% with proof. All started after I was shot. I've had no psychological record, no criminal record, no association with any cops or anyone else named prior to the crimes on me. Me being falsely arrested through the hospital to prevent anything legal on the crimes that they are guilty of with and for these very serious corrupt cops and their junky, low-life pieces of shit. Ex-Chief or Commander, I'm going to name them all again. Ex-Chief or Commander, year 2019. Drove a white Jeep Wrangler. Staff Sergeant, years 2019, 2021. Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Dave Weiss, Constable Ward. Stacy, a mental health worker that was Kingston or was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS, and Shelley Huffner. She also had me kidnapped May 27th, 24 hours after me asking for help with the crimes that are taking place against me. That was done through false pretenses of incompetency, where I was taken to Kingston, Ontario through a Judge Chappelle. I, under very serious threats and duress, was forced to give up blood and piss. When they found out what they had done 24 hours after me asking for help, they turned around and left me in Kingston. Spencer Mills, 14716. Drug cop Robert Kane, 7224. And Christine Schultz. All Ontario Provincial Police, Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, who are involved with criminal negligence and intent in co-committing and covering up crimes for themselves, O.p.p, and everyone else. Dr. Tatiana Vukadinovic, Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, and Dr. McGregor. Once again, ex-CEO Coverups and Patient Relations, having me falsely charged twice to prevent anything legal on them. First time was in an attempt to give me a criminal record, and also in an attempt to try to discredit me because they were trying every time I was going to the hospital, the mental health thing. So, when that has absolutely nothing to do with it, I was shot by something in August 6, 2019, and it happened approximately 3 p.m. by the O.p.p chief. I have went to O.p.p to try to get arrested and charging, surrounded hands on guns. I have video on my channel to show it and prove it. OIPRD at the time with 100% proof. I have video to prove it. Lika several times, only to be denied, of course, because the ones involved that you complain about or try to have charged only investigate their own crimes to find no wrongdoing. I have asked other police for help, only to be told to go fuck myself, that they would not cross the thin blue line. They're brothers. So I was made homeless for an entire year, where I had to live in a shelter in Kingston. There was one person there who was involved. His name is Robert Hanna. I did not know of the crimes that he was involved in, but when I was in a shelter, I became friends with him until I found out exactly what he was about. He is an ex-Bath prisoner inmate who is involved in very serious sex offenses against children, including child pornography. He gets on TikTok. He has an internet ban. He gets on TikTok as Jimmy Fry. His name is Robert Hanna. He's 28, 29 years old. He's balding, has a ponytail, glasses, always wears a hat, and usually headphones. He was living on Oak Street in Kingston, Ontario, near a park. He may now be living across the road from Artillery Park in Kingston, Ontario, with a woman named Jen, or at Hamilton House with his boyfriend, who is a furry, named Edward Alex Robichaud. Each and every one of these lowlives are O.p.p, drug traffickers, registered sex offenders, drug addicts, drug traffickers with and for the police. Each and every one of them are guilty of torture crimes against me with 100% proof. I know exactly who each and every one of them are, including two of them being family members of mine, cousins. Two of them, one guy goes by the name Bill Wooldridge. He lives at 149 Center Street North. I know I should not give out addresses, but he lives at 149 Center Street North because he's untouchable, unarrestable. And he is above all laws in Napanee. Lives at 149 Center Street North. He is bald. He has glasses. He is approximately 65 to 70 years old. He was stalking children for ex-PP chief or commander, the one that had me shot, for sex slavery trafficking at Tim Hortons daily, usually between 11 and noon every single day. He was stalking me constantly. He was stalking my mother. He was calling my mother mom. The lowlife piece of shit thinks that he and I were switched at birth and thinks that he is my dad. That's very seriously messed up. And there's no inbreeding in my family, so sorry. He has many alias names, or he is guilty of torturing and stalking and torturing, and he is guilty of causing my mother's death. And I have proven how. I've talked about how it was done, and 100% provable. He and a guy known as Blair Hardy Kane, are both guilty of stalking and torturing her and causing her death December 20th, 2020 at 6:05 p.m. approximately. Other O.p.p drug traffickers, ones that are involved, and like I said, I know each and every one of them, and I know of their guilt. Bert Hustler, Tyler Lake, Jason Van Alstyne, Robert Barry, and his boyfriend, who is committing sex assaults and possibly HIV/AIDS positive. He works for Laidlaw, and he's a possible serial killer. He's bald, glasses, crowbar mustache. Ouch. Excuse me, sorry, I got an itchy back. Friggin' flies around here. There is a Raymond LeBlanc. He is a child groomer, approximately 55 years old, lives behind Mamma Mia's Pizzeria in Napanee, Ontario. He is a stalker. He is a meth trafficker. He is guilty of crimes against me, including brain injuring me, skull splitting me, and attempted murder against me. Once again, Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jason Van Alstyne, Raymond LeBlanc, Bert Hustler, my cousin Harry Hartwick, my other cousin Dale Hartwick, and Dale Hartwick's boyfriend Tony Anthony Axel Rose Hearns. There is also Sean McKay, and there is a Christopher Brandt and his brother Travis, who is a reserve cop. I'm just going to show some of the changes, physical changes that I have been through over the course of 6 years. And this is just going to be a few of them. Physical change. This is why I show the tattoo on my hand. This was done too. This is very pretty serious change because of me going through my changes too to prove my identity. That's why I show my name on my tattoo. The only difference now is I have a tree on my hand with my name, which represents the woodleaf tree. So, like I said, if anybody thinks that they cannot be physically changed, I am proof that it can. And this all happened to me after I was shot in August of 2019. Very serious changes too. My skull has been shortened, wide, and elongated, many different shapes and sizes. And while going through every bit of it, there has been nothing that I was able to do about it. Here's a picture of me with my long hair without my glasses on. And this was only a few years old, actually. So my skull caves in, especially in here, in my forehead, which I just noticed I have something right here. I have something in my head right here now. Also in my temple area. Another picture of me at one point in time. More my true image without my glasses on. Even O.p.p knows of the changes that I've been to just from them falsely arresting me and getting my pictures. This here was only done approximately 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago. And of course, I look absolutely nothing like that in any way, shape, or form now. Anyway, no criminal record or history. I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to being shot. And then everything beginning on me and all the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, once again, the arrest refusals, the false arrest, the kidnapping, the extortion of $22,000, going to O.p.p, being surrounded, hands on guns, and I can prove it. Not being able to get any medical help for the past, since all of this began. My medical rights, my legal rights, and my human rights have been taken from me to assure that this happened to me. I am also the end of my bloodline as well. I am losing memories, a lot of my memories. I have trouble remembering a lot of stuff, walking and talking a lot of the time. I have very minimal to no vision now in my right eye. I am blind from the damage being done. As you can see, the split in my forehead, straight up, and it's been split in different sections. And me being blamed for every single bit of it, no matter what I can prove now, no matter how impossible it would be for me to do something such as identity changing myself to look like these fucking lowlives who are nothing but fall down inbred junky pieces of shit. And the one guy involved, Jason Van Alstyne, he is approximately 45 years old. He is a crackhead and he is a fentanyl trafficker. Between Napanee and Kingston, he sells fentanyl and niacin to addicts and to the homeless between Napanee and Kingston, especially around the hub in Kingston, Ontario, and in Napanee, to addicts and homeless to commit overdose homicides against them. It's easier to get away with and have it labeled as just such and covered up and no second thoughts about it. Isn't that right, Jason Van Alstyne? Which is this low-life piece of shit right here. He is approximately 45 years old, from Moscow, Ontario, too. And I have 100% proof where I have videos too and pictures where I look exactly like him, including the same, or I look just like him. So, and I'm no relation to him in any way, shape, or form. I once again can 100% prove his guilt and how he's doing it, even though he is a stroke victim. He has been involved with this for the past 6 years, including even stalking me in Kingston and being caught. I just didn't have time to grab hold of the low life. He jumped on a bus at the time. I have a tube in my head that goes from my groin. Here's a picture of the back of my head. I've not had any surgeries either, and yet it looks like I have, but I haven't. My skull's been seriously fucked. Here's a picture of it when it was flat, and then it looks like I have a hand or fingers coming up through my head with a dent in my skull. It's not like that now. But I'm going to show you where I have this tube that comes up in my throat now that I never had previously to being shot, just like everything else, and that all starting on me. It goes from my groin to my right nipple to my throat to the back of my neck to a spot on the back of my head. And I get piss and shit that go through my head and my face daily. As disgusting as that is, and I don't really want to talk about it, but I have to, because it's very seriously fucking sick. This is showing just some of the deformity to my neck and to my skull that I have been through. And while going through this, I wasn't able to get any medical help. So I had to go through every bit of this in excruciating fucking pain. There's where that tube goes up to the back of my head. Even my spine's been screwed on me. And I get piss and shit that comes through that tube now to the back of my head, and it goes through my head and my face. Which, there's the front of it when it bulges out. 100% real. And because of all the feces and everything else that goes through my head and my face and the torture I get daily, and yes, it can be proven, including the ones doing it through DNA because of them doing it to me. So And that's also what's numbing my brain down constantly on a daily basis. This usually starts at me about 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. These low lives that I have wrote down here, whether this is seen or not, because like I said, it's being shadow banned and blocked out. But they also get their drugs delivered to them through Ontario provincial police for their crimes that they are guilty of for trafficking and for personal use for the crimes that they are committing. And that's a fact. Even my own cousin Dale Hartwick told me exactly what was going on, and when he realized who he was talking to, he got up and left real quick after he realized he fucked up, and basically let me know he was involved in my identity theft and all of everything else I've been able to show and prove, including the attempted murder against me, my mother being stalked, tortured, and killed. So you speak O.p.p. crimes, you better be prepared to have funerals, and that's a fact. I hope you see this: Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jason Van Alstyne, Hartwicks, Hearns, and the rest. I know you will. And I hope you're happy with what you've accomplished against me and gotten away with, knowing that you have no laws above you and that you work for the cops. So congratulations, damage done, time bought. And I am the end of my bloodline. So you are going to be fucked one way or another. This is no joke. My life and my bloodline and my identity is no joke by you gameplay and junkie pieces of shit who are sadistic terrorist cops and good for nothing criminal doctors and junkie lowlife pieces of shit. This is why you're doing these crimes against poor, homeless, elderly, and disabled, and doing it in Napanee, Ontario, because it's easier to cast your lies against them and have it covered up while you are committing these crimes against your victims and preventing them from help. Be safe, everybody. Love all, hate none. I am Christopher Wood, and I am a 6-year revenge retaliation victim. Yes, full physical identity theft, 6 years of torture crimes, sex assaults, medical file falsifications for discrimination, treatment refusals, blacklisting. They assure their crimes in Napanee against their victims, and this is no joke. Nobody's been able to pay or answer for what has happened. I am the one that's being blamed for all crimes against me. So, if seen, hit my like, share, subscribe, and at least share, because this is very serious and important. And Ontario Provincial Police, one way or another, I am going to get a lawyer one way or another, and I am going to get lawsuits against you for what I can and have proven 100%, along with the doctors involved. No threats. Nobody can be arrested. My life is not a game, and my bloodline is not a game. And I am not going to be trafficked, or I am not going to be framed by any of your lowlife pieces of shit junkies, because they're fucking inmates and ex-inmates. You're guilty of harboring a possible escapee. So you make your money through drug trafficking. You make your money through human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking. You make your money through frauds. How many others has this been done to that hasn't been able to say nothing? How many others, especially inside jails, that you've had locked up to prevent them helping proof? How many others has this been done to? How many slaves do you got? How many of you seriously tortured and killed and covered up because you can, without having to answer for nothing? And this has nothing to do with hate or anything else against police, because that's not what this is about. This is about criminal pieces of shit within the police who are guilty of very serious crimes, and they're getting away with it because of who they are. Once again, you're guilty of ending a bloodline, and I hope you're happy with what you accomplished against me.